Hello everybody, good welcome. It's one of those nights. Hello everybody, good welcome. Hello everybody and welcome to the United Stand. This is your latest Manchester United news. Paul Pogba signs a contract extension for Manchester United. Harry Maguire is set to start against Newcastle and calls for Bruno Fernandes to potentially be dropped, as well as a little bit about transfer deadline then in the Championship. Some people saying United should have bought a couple of players that West Ham and Spurs have bought. Lots and lots to discuss. I just want to say happy birthday to Daniel Gunting. If some people in the live comments want to say happy birthday to Daniel, I'm sure he'll be very, very appreciative of that. One of your mates, Nathan, sent me a message saying, so could we say happy birthday today? Happy birthday to Daniel, to you. But look, you know what? I'm going to start off with something here. The United Stand is a community, and I think there's always lots of good information out there. There's a tweet from @vintage_United tonight about the Harry Maguire situation. The logical thing to do for me tomorrow would be to drop Harry Maguire from the starting 11. He's been poor for weeks now and needs to be taken out of the limelight. Personally, I'd play Eric Bailly and Victor Lindelof, but whether Ollie has the bottle to do that or not, I do not know. And I think, look, my initial reaction, and the news is that Harry Maguire is not injured. He's travelled with the team to Newcastle. So straight away, this story we were talking about this morning from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, where he said Harry's got a bit of a knock, we'll have to wait and see. This is not a chance for him to drop him. This is not Harry, pretend you've got a knock, you're dropped. This is genuinely Harry Maguire's got a knock, and genuinely he's going to play tomorrow, even with a knock and even though he's crap. So look, that's the bottom line. Not only should he be dropped, we're now giving him late fitness tests to be so importantly part of this game. But what I would say is, look, the frustration bubble's up in me. I've said it, I'll say it now. I back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I want him to do a good job. If he thinks picking Harry Maguire tomorrow is the right thing to do, then he is going to have to walk this walk. And ultimately, I think it's going to cause him more problems than good, because you are basically flogging a dead horse. He is not the captain of Manchester United. He is not a captain. I've seen enough of him. He is not anywhere near a Manchester United captain. I don't even think he's a captain. I don't know why you think he is a captain. And ultimately, I don't think it will cost us tomorrow. I don't think Harry Maguire playing tomorrow will cost us as captain. This will cost us the next time we are in a big game, whether it's a semi-final against Sevilla, whether we're 2-1 down with 10 men against Spurs, and he puts his hand on his head and says, yes, it was a red card when he should be in the referee's face. This guy ain't a leader. I don't care about Greece. I don't care about how good he is. He's not a leader. He shouldn't be captain. He shouldn't be playing tomorrow. But it's on Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'm not paid to manage Manchester United. You're not paid to manage Manchester United. What we are here to do as fans of Manchester United is to offer up an opinion. And my opinion tomorrow will be, if he picks Harry Maguire, it's a mistake. It sends the wrong message out, but it's his mistake. And as I said, and as Ryan said on Twitter there, and as I'm sure many of you have said before as well, has Ole Gunnar Solskjaer got the bottle to make the big decisions, or is he too interested in, keeping the status quo happy? And we'll find out tomorrow. But I'm telling you now, any manager worth their salt tomorrow would drop him, because he deserves to be dropped. And if he doesn't want to do that, it's up to Ole. I still think we'll win tomorrow night, and hopefully this, blind bias or whatever you want to call it towards a player that should be dropped is rewarded with a good performance, because ultimately we aren't blessed with many good centre-backs. So, if Harry Maguire does miraculously start playing well from tomorrow and against PSG and against Chelsea, then great. But as I said this afternoon on the Premier League show, I don't think he's at the bottom yet. I don't think he's hit the bottom of his form. I think he's absolutely bang out of form, nowhere near where he needs to be, and that is why I would give him the defibrillator. I'd give him a jolt. I would drop him and try and hope that focuses him. But it's on the manager. The manager will make the choice. And look, many people think he's right to pick Maguire, so I'm not going to get overly stressed about it. I've said what I think, and look, it does look like he's going to play tomorrow now, because he's passed the fitness test and he's on his way up to Newcastle. So I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got the bottle to drop him tomorrow. I just don't think it's going to happen. But look, I'm not saying it in an Ole out way, and I'm not saying it in a let's sell Harry Maguire way. I'm saying it in, my opinion is that he's dreadful at the moment, and what message does it send out to anybody else who is a leader or anyone else who is a defender that, you can literally play absolutely crap as my captain and I will still keep picking you. So I don't think it's the right message to send out, but maybe Maybe he doesn't want to lose the dressing room. I don't know. I don't know what it's all about, but we'll find out tomorrow. Time for Ollie to prove he's not just a good new man manager. Bench Maguire, maybe Pogba, start Van der Beek and give Bruno the armband. Cheers, Mark, says Daniel Luciano. Welcome to the Members Club, Liam Hain. And Mark, it's my birthday today. I've been a sub since 80k. Keep up the good work. Would love you to do some tactics breakdown shows for every game, says Karen Banzo. Yeah, I don't mind doing tactics stuff, and we've got the tactics board to do it, but it can be a little bit, it's not for everyone. Ronaldo was never captain, and hence Bruno shouldn't have it weigh him down. The only constant and consistent player is De Gea, and he should be captain, says Vicky Lee. Bench Pogba and swap Donny, says players. And Maguire will know that if he doesn't play well, he will still get picked, says Devils 58. Yeah, look, I think there should be consequences for your actions. I do. And look, it's all about opinion. I don't really care if people are saying you're being toxic and divisive. How am I being toxic and divisive? I like Harry Maguire. I think he can still be a good player for Manchester United. I'm not saying kick him out the team forever. I'm just saying drop him tomorrow. I think you've got, if I'm a manager, I'm dropping him. And that's what I'm doing. And you don't have to like it because that's my management decision. Ollie's is different to me, obviously, and it might be different to some of you lot. But I'm not picking him. Like, he's dreadful. Like, he cost us the game against Spurs. He was awful. And he's the captain as well. I watched that clip of when Martial got sent off and Rashford's trying to have a go at the referee and Maguire's saying, no, it should be a red card. No, it's not the attitude. I don't want a captain of Manchester United to be, oh yeah, I'm just going to listen to the referee. It's fair. He's a passive character, and I don't want a passenger at Manchester United with the captain's armband. And I want him to. I hope, but you know what? If he plays tomorrow, I hope tomorrow night we're saying 9 out of 10. Harry Maguire, brilliant, and then PSG, he's pocketed Neymar and Mbappe, and then Chelsea, he's pocketed Werner. I want all those things to happen. I really do. It's the best solution. We've spent £80 million on him. I think you've always got to look at what you want out of something. It's very easy to say sell him, buy him, drop him, never pick him again. What do I want? What do you want out of the situation for Harry Maguire? I want him to be the best centre-back in the Premier League. I want him to be the best captain for Manchester United. Do I believe it? No. Do I want it? Yes. I want it more than anything. So it's not hate, it's not toxic, it's not an agenda. I want him to be the player I thought we were going to get. And for various reasons at the moment, my personal stance is that he's already had the chances. I've heard people saying, he's had, got to give him a chance. I think he's had the chances because to me, this is not about this season. This goes back to Spurs in June. He's been bad for a long, long time. And he's the one player that's not been left out. Wan-Bissaka's been left out. Lindelof got dropped because of what happened against Palace. So, look, if you're going to have a player that's above anything, they better be a bloody good player. It better be a Ronaldo. It better be a Roy Keane. It better be a bloody De Bruyne. If you're going to say it doesn't matter what they play, they're going to play, then they better be a bloody good player. And I just think that, that's my opinion. Benching a player is not writing them off, says Daniel Luciano. And Mark, you can't say any decent boss would drop him when most ex-pros are saying he should play. He's been poor against this opposition. We need him. Says Robert McCormack. I couldn't give a toss what an ex-professional footballer says, mate. I really couldn't. You're absolutely talking to the wrong person here. I do not give a toss what an ex-professional footballer says. However, they're a mixed bag. Some of them talk sense sometimes and some of them don't, like we do as fans. But I've had an ex-professional footballer this week saying that my striker, my player of the year, is a fraud. He's a con job. So, and I've had an ex-player saying that he needs to play his way back into form. And that ex-player was a striker. I don't need to put respect on ex-professional footballers' name just because they were professional footballers, because it doesn't mean their opinions any better than anybody else's. But if you want to play that game, one of the best centre-backs we've had in the Premier League era, not just at Manchester United in general, Rio Ferdinand, has said, I'd take him out. So, at least Rio Ferdinand is actually an ex-Manchester United centre-back who's played that position and played for England, and he is saying, I would take him out. So, Robert. But look, you might not want to like that opinion either. Maguire should be at his peak. He won't improve. Look at Gabriel. He's already one of the best defenders, says Zane. Well, you ruined that when I saw your name, Zane, there. I thought it might be somebody intelligent. Skull's wrong about Martial, says Dazzy's Gaming. And he isn't out and out striker, but our best attacker, Martial, says photographer Michael. And Mark, how would we react if Ollie put a back line behind the diamond of Telles, Shaw, Bailly and Aaron Wan-Bissaka? I wouldn't. The thing is, I don't think Luke Shaw is a left-sided centre-back in a back four, but I would play him over Harry Maguire. Yeah, I would. I think Maguire is burnt out. He's still a young player, not yet peaked. He definitely needs a rest, but I think Ollie possibly relies on him too much as lately. But is that not, in fairness, is this... I said this morning, and there's so much to talk about tonight, but I said this morning. Are we not focusing on Harry Maguire too much now? Like, we've got the evidence of Harry Maguire. I don't get why he gets picked for every game. I don't think he's that good. He's not an £80 million centre-back. He's not in the same paragraph. He's not even in the same book as a Van Dijk or a Varane, or even a Laporte at Man City. He's nowhere near that level. Nowhere near. But that's not necessarily his fault. I think he's good, but he's nowhere near that level. So why does Ollie and Southgate pick him every single game? Like, I don't get it. Behind the scenes, something must be going on. Like, he must be brilliant in the dressing room, because on the pitch, I don't think he's any better than an Eric Bailly or a Victor Lindelof or a John Stones or any other centre-back that's good. I don't think he's any better than that. But the point is, this is not really about Harry Maguire now. You've put your performances in. A decision needs to be made. So he can't do anything. He's done what he's done over the last 3 months. He's a footballer. He's an entertainer. He's a professional footballer, paid a lot of money. He can't sit there moaning that he's under scrutiny to be dropped. Hold on a minute, Harry. You're a professional sports guy. You've done fantastically well. I think you're a good player. But over the last 3 months, you've not been at the level required. And in any other job, you're underperforming. So you've got to be performance reviewed. If you work in an office and you're turning up late, and your work, which was very good, is suddenly crap, then you're going to get performance managed by your manager. So for me, Harry Maguire, we need to work on making you better. But at the moment, it's not been good enough for 3 months. Performance review. Who performances review? The manager. So to me, it's not about Harry Maguire. It's about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer now. It's about what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer decides to do. And this is the thing that worries me most, because I want Ole to do well and I back Ole, but I can't fight Ole's corner tomorrow night if Harry Maguire is picked and Ole Outers go, well, this is why he shouldn't be manager, because he's weak. He doesn't make the big decisions when they need to be made. And as I said, the issue is not really, as I said, dropping a player is not kicking them out the club. Dropping a player can make them better in the PSG game in Chelsea. It's man management. Dropping him might make him even more determined. And you know what? I actually don't know Harry Maguire, but I like his personality. I like his resilience. He obviously does play with knocks and everything like that. He's clearly got issues at the moment, and I think anybody would with what's gone on in Greece. But I actually think if Harry Maguire was taken out of the team tomorrow, he'd be back in training on Sunday morning, determined to get back in that team, because he would take it personally, because he wants to play. So I actually think without knowing him personally, I actually think he is the character that if you do drop, it would work. Now, there are certain characters that if you drop them, maybe, stereotypically a Di Maria or an Alexis Sanchez, if you drop them, they just go further into their shell. I'm not happy, screw you. There'll be some people, if you drop them, it's not a good idea, because they're gonna react badly to it. But I actually think Harry Maguire is the perfect person to drop, because I think his character type would respond to it. So it's not about Harry Maguire now, it's about Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Tomorrow night, he's got a decision to make, and if he decides to pick him, I think that's weak. It's a weak decision in my opinion. But I'm expecting it. So when the team comes out tomorrow night, I'm expecting him to do it. So I'm not going to lose my SHIT. I will just react to it and say, well, look, I don't agree with it. I think Ollie's left himself wide open there. But as I said, I don't think it will be enough for us to lose against Newcastle. And God help us it isn't. Because if it comes down to Harry Maguire tomorrow against Newcastle, then Ollie will take the blame. And he's got to take that. But it's on Ollie now. It's Ollie's decision. He's got to make it. Let's see what he does. The thought of Maguire starting and Bruno being out against Newcastle makes me feel sick. Oh, geez, says Kieran Watson. And the point is, if we lose and Maguire's not picked, Ollie gets absolutely slated. You have to pick Maguire versus your Newcastle and Burnleys over Lindelof, says Robert McCormack. I don't think he gets slated tomorrow, mate. I think he gets more slated if Maguire makes a mistake. I don't think you understand. I think, Robert, you need to get back to your Harry Kane pictures, because I think you're reading the situation totally wrong. If Maguire doesn't play tomorrow night and United lose, United fans aren't stupid. When the team news comes out, they'll go, wow, well done. That's what a real manager should be doing, making big decisions. If we then lose because Lindelof makes a mistake, I don't think people will say, well, Maguire should have started, because that belongs at Arsenal, not at Man United. That's hypocrisy on the highest level. You can't applaud a decision, and then when you lose, say, well, he should have played Maguire. That's ridiculous. You're hypocriting yourself. Roy Keane and Brian Clough punched him and it make him a better player. Players today are too soft, says Sain Miassi. Well, going back to that comment about Bruno Fernandes, this was something I read in the Manchester Evening News. Ex-player Luke Chadwick, he's been around, he's on a lot of things at the moment. Not on the United stand, but he's on a lot of things at the moment. And he said that Bruno's not, Bruno's a very good player, but he's not been up to scratch recently. Van der Beek should start and Bruno should be dropped. And I'm just like, look, another ex-pro. Their opinions are no more right, no more wrong than ours. But look, I tell you what, I'm expecting Maguire to play tomorrow, so my reaction's not going to be, I'm not going to lose it. But if he didn't pick Bruno tomorrow, that would be massive. I was asked this at the start of the week. If he dropped Bruno and plays Pogba and Maguire, what would your reaction be? I wouldn't be Ollie out. I mean, that would be so sensationalist for me to say. If he doesn't pick Bruno, I'm Ollie out. That would be just so sensationalist to do that. What would you do? Because for me, I was Ollie out after the Burnley game. I'd had enough. I was like, this is crap football, boring, crappy, lifeless football with footballers that just don't deserve to wear the shirt and a manager that looks out of his depth. So I said it after the Burnley game in January. I said, I'm Ollie out. I can't see a way out of this. He's out of his depth. He can't get these players going. He's just not going to be the manager I thought he was going to be. And I'm proud to say that. I would never take that back. I know and there are fans out there, and fair play to them, that I've never been Ollie out, and it's like a badge of honour. But no, I was Ollie out after that Burnley game, and I stand by it. I'm proud of it, because the reason I was Ollie out is because I just saw a team devoid of anything. We've just lost to Burnley at home. We've lost to Watford, Bournemouth, Newcastle, and God knows who else in 6 months. That was the lowest point for me. And then we brought Bruno into the team. And I was like, well, this is the player I wanted in the summer. This is the player I and the United Standers have known about for a very long time. This is the player that we think can change Manchester United. And lo and behold, he did. And as soon as he signed, I said, I can't be Ollie out and then so excited about a player I think will change us. So I was like, well, Bruno's here. I'm going to give Ollie a chance now. Let's see what happens. And ever since then, I've never looked back. I've always been with Ollie on it because Bruno's improved us. If Ollie takes Bruno out the team and he's the one who is the fall guy for the Spurs game, it's like he's the one I'm going to make an example of, then my mind's blown. I'm like, hold on a minute. This is the player that I got behind you because of. This is the player that took us from 14 points off 4th to 3rd in, 12 games or something like that? This is the player that is our future. This is the leader. This is the fire starter. And you're going to drop him from a game that was nothing to do with him in one of our biggest games in a long time. So he won't drop Bruno. Tell me he won't drop Bruno. Please. But he won't. He won't, will he? He won't. But if he did, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. But I wouldn't be Ollie out, but I'd be furious about it. But as I said, I think you could drop Bruno and still win tomorrow. I think my opinion is that I think that whatever team he picks tomorrow will win. So he can go with whatever agenda he wants. If he never wants to drop Harry Maguire, he should pick him tomorrow because I think we'll win even with Maguire. If he wants to drop Bruno or Pogba, I think he should drop him tomorrow because I think we will win. I think there's a justification in whatever team he picks tomorrow because I think Newcastle will play a 5-4-1. I actually think we'll keep a clean sheet. At minimum, they'll score 1 goal. I don't think they're going to go 4-4-2. I don't think they're going to attack us. So I don't think there's going to be many goals conceded by us tomorrow. So I think Ollie's on a win-win no matter what happens tomorrow. So, he could drop a Bruno, he could drop a Pogba, he can play Maguire, and I think he'll get away with it. But God, if he dropped Bruno, I don't know what I'd do. I really don't. Mark, what do you think about Ollie as director of football and a new manager to replace him as a coach? I'm not Ollie out, and I think he can do a good job as director of football, says Arahant. Well, I always like this question to pop up again because Jay says Newcastle should attack you tomorrow. I agree, Jay. And L2 says you're talking too soon. Look, it's only a prediction, mate. There's no such thing as a jinx. The reality is the person who's in control of the result tomorrow is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the players. The team he picks and the players who deliver. So it's nothing to do with a jinx. We shouldn't be conceding more than 1 goal against Newcastle tomorrow because I don't think they'll play anything more than a 5-4-1. If he goes 4-4-2, I'll be like, they might have a go at us. They may well do that. But I don't think that he will. I don't think that they will. I think they will have a go at us. And I don't think they will have a go at us. And I think United will get the result that they need to get, because that's what I expect. But Eduardo says if he does drop Bruno, he's literally saying sack me. I mean, look, I don't think that he will. I really don't. Minia says that he should play a 4-2-3-1. I think we'll play a back five tomorrow, and I think that's why he will play Harry Maguire. But I think he's got to pick Van der Beek tomorrow. I really do. I think that has to happen. And the only way he can do that is by playing a diamond in the midfield, or by dropping a Pogba or a Bruno. I think the team news at 7 o'clock tomorrow night is going to be very interesting. I'm looking forward to that watch along when that comes in, because it's going to be interesting what he does. There's no team he can pick tomorrow where we go, oh, well, I expected that. There's either going to be a formation change, or there's going to be dropping of players that you weren't expecting. Tellez has travelled with the squad as well, so that should be quite a positive thing. But Donny definitely deserves to start tomorrow, because I've said this a few times as well, and so have you, and you're right. You can't, just because we've had an international break, you really need to wipe that away. The positive, what, has he got out?
Yeah.
How? I'd be impressed by number back five and no Maguire, says Daniel Luciano. The cat's got out. I'd be impressed by number five, by no back five and no Maguire, says Daniel Luciano. Yeah, well, look, I think that how we approach the game tomorrow, as I said about the formation there, is going to make a very big difference. But we've got to win. We have to win the game. That's what some people forget. We've got to win the game tomorrow. I think one of the biggest areas that concern me is how we're going to score goals. No Martial. Obviously, Cavani can't play. Will he find a place for Igalo? I think he's got to try and get the best out of Rashford and Greenwood tomorrow. I think those two players are players that haven't had a great start to the season either. We need them to turn up. We need a lot of players to turn up tomorrow, and we need a response. But as I said, the international break has been good for fitness levels, of course, but realistically, the mindset that Man United need to get into as players, and the manager, and the mindset that we as fans will be in, is that let's ignore the last 2 weeks. In fact, let's delete the last 2 weeks and pretend that yesterday we lost 6-1 to Spurs and Newcastle is the next game. And I've heard people say it's come at the wrong time, the international break, because you get hammered like that, players go away, they have a bit of time off, and they don't feel the rawness of that result. And Ollie actually does need to create that. I don't know what he's like as a manager. I'm speculating here, and I don't like speculating. But if it is, as people say, Ollie's just, a nice guy, then have they been in training this week just smiling and laughing and let's go out there and do our best, lads? Or actually, as would happen with a Sir Alex and a Jurgen Klopp and a Jose Mourinho, have those players had a big kick up the arse? Because they need a kick up the arse. I mean, I'll say it again. We lost 6-1 at home. Now, what difference does it make if there's fans in the ground? Like, we lost 6-1 at home in a Premier League game. That's on the record. It's not a Carabao Cup game with the reserves. It's not a pre-season friendly. It's 6-1 on record at home in the Premier League against Jose Mourinho. It's there. The last time we got beat like that was Man City with Sir Alex Ferguson, where we were 3-1 down, I think, in the 90th minute, and he was trying to get back in the game, and they scored 2 or 3 goals in extra time, in stoppage time. And basically, Sir Alex went for it because he knew that was going to be the title decider, even though it was months before the end of the season. This is not that. This is, actually, can I be honest? This is the lowest result we've had since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. Have we been beat like that since Sir Alex Ferguson retired? I mean, I might have wiped it from my memory, but I can't think of a result any worse than this. And Raja says, I enjoy your shows. Quick question. Who does your artwork background for your live shows and videos? Do you have a contact on IG? Thanks, says Raja Singh. Draughty Devil does it. And Maguire is one of their own, says A. Monroe. The cat's got out, David. Yeah, the wife's very stressed. Little shit. Not the wife, the cat. And so look, tell me if I'm wrong in the live comments. This is the worst result we've had since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. I've not heard enough of that. I've heard all this Poch crap. I've heard all the Pogba wants to go to Real Madrid. I've heard all the let's drop Harry Maguire, let's drop Paul Pogba, let's get Van der Beek. I've heard all that, and that's right. But I've not heard enough of that's the worst result we've had since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. Why are we not focusing in on that result? Because that, to me, is what we should be doing. What's the mood in the hotel in Newcastle tonight? What's the mood in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer tonight? What's it going to be tomorrow? And look, they might be watching this. I'm sure some United players do. You know, they're not allowed to admit it. I'm sure they do. And look, anybody in the live comments will say, we just want what's best for Manchester United, lads. Like, if you don't perform, you're going to get criticised. If you perform, you're going to get idolised. That you're entertainers. That's what you do. Same with Ollie, same with the coaches. You might look at it and go, they don't know what they're on about. They're just creating negativity. They're hysterical. They should just get behind the team. Why should we get behind the team? You've got 3 points from 9. Crap transfer window. The club is run by Prats. And, you know, we're sympathetic to the fact that Ollie's not been backed like other managers, and we're totally behind you on that. But you've got to give us something. You can't just keep going, well, the fans don't matter. It's what I do that matters. Of course it's what you do that matters because you're the manager. But we've been here for 7 years, 8 years doing this. We've seen manager after manager after manager do this. And we've seen mistake after mistake after mistake. And we've seen the board not back, not back, not back. But more importantly, we've seen managers not dropping their favourites. You know, not playing players that the fans think should be playing. And then they get the sack. So if I was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer tonight and I was those players tonight, I would be watching the highlights of that Spurs game back. And if I was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer tonight, I'd be getting the players together for tea. And I'd be saying, you know what? You might have been on international duty. You might have been having 2 weeks training. You're a bloody letdown, a lot of you. You're a bloody joke. That result for a Manchester United player is a joke. And I want you to feel how harsh that joke is. Because it is a joke. It's not 2 weeks and let's try again. That is unacceptable. And you might not like me saying it, but I have standards. Manchester United has standards. And 6-1 at home is the worst result we've had since Sir Alex Ferguson retired. So whatever other failure we've had, that is the worst. What is our response over tomorrow, next week against PSG and Chelsea? I'll tell you what our bloody response is. We pull our finger out and we start playing for this club. And if you don't want to do that, come and have a chat with me and we'll sort something out. Because that is a humiliating, embarrassing result and we need to own it. It's no point saying, well, we go into the next game, it's just a loss. It's a humiliation. And those players need to know that and respond to that. And to send pretty much the same team out again doesn't, in my mind and many of your minds, send the right message out. There must be changes tomorrow. People must be held accountable because we're not a charity, we're Manchester United. And the individual is not more important than the team and is not more important than the club. And we need this leadership in the club. It might not be easy, and you might lose some people along the way, but you've got to start building it. And I tell you what, there's players in that club that would respect that. The Marcus Rashfords of this world, the Bruno Fernandes of this world. These are players that will respond to that because they get what the club is about. Welcome to the Members Club, Patrick McDowell. And if no Maguire and De Gea, who do you think is going to be captain, says Lee Marshall? Well, De Gea's going to start, isn't he? Are we finally going to see a clear identity with the lack of Tony and Edison? I still don't know what type of team we are. Can you call Alex a prat, says Jonathan Seja. I would like to see the diamond tomorrow. I think we're going to see the 5-3-2. Either way, in a diamond, you've got 2 up front, Greenwood and Rashford. And in a 5-3-2, you've got Greenwood and Rashford. If we play a 5, then we'll play 3 centre-backs. I think Luke Shaw will be left-sided centre-back with Telles and Wan-Bissaka as the wing-backs. The midfield 3 will be Matic and 2 others. Either Van der Beek and Bruno or Pogba and Van der Beek or Bruno and Pogba. It'll be like that. You can't play Bruno, Pogba and Van der Beek in a midfield 3. You just can't. You can't do that. We'll get overrun. I'd taken a narrow defeat, another humiliation, because at least that shows me that they're trying, says Benjamin Turner. And I would make them watch the whole 90 minutes, says Uzar. And why does he never start Mata in league games when we lack creativity and players look clueless? Well, I mean, look, Arca, there is no way that Mata's going to start tomorrow, is he? I mean, whether he should or he shouldn't, he's just not a player for the big games anymore, is he? You know, even with all the injuries that we got, even with all the players that we didn't sign, he's just not going to play Mata, is he? Please smash a like on the video and subscribe if you are new, bottom right hand corner. I just want to say as well, I just want to talk about this because I think that look, we're very passionate as a fan base. We are, and we've all got things to say, and you know, this is the place to do it. This is the community to get involved in, and we're all very proud of the community that we've built. But I think sometimes we do moan for the sake of moaning. I've seen today that Spurs have bought Rodon from Swansea, who is a centre-back, and West Ham have bought a right-sided... I think he's a right side. He's a winger. He's either left or right side. I can't remember. Brentford, Ben Rama. And I've seen a lot of United fans saying, well, why didn't we do that deal? I know, why are we not doing that deal? And I think, actually, come on. The transfer window closed, nearly 2 weeks ago. What did we say? We better not go desperately looking in the Championship. So I'm not going to call United out here because they didn't buy Rodon from Swansea and Ben Rama from Brentford or Sarr from Watford or King from Bournemouth, because that would have been amplifying the desperation. We can't be that. When we don't do something desperate, we can't say, why didn't we do it? Like, they're not the players that we were looking for. We've already done it with Cavani. Why go and do it again just to bring somebody in? Like, Rodon from Swansea, for me, I don't think he's good enough. Now, it's a different matter if United wanted him, because, again, it just shows that Ollie's not been backed. But did we want him? We were linked to him. Obviously, he's Welsh. Maybe Ryan Giggs has said he's good. But did we want him? I would say not, because for the fee that Spurs have got him for, I think we could have done that. And actually, from what I've seen of Rodon at Swansea, he's very similar in style to a Maguire or a Lindelof. He's not the centre-back that we need. We know the sort of centre-back we need, and we know they've got to be quick. So he's not that. As for Ben Rama at Brentford, I mean, look, he's gone to West Ham. Like, West Ham are a mid-table Premier League club. Is Ben Rama what Manchester United need? Is he really way better than a Jesse Lingard? Man United should be bringing players in that are better than what we've got. And in certain positions, maybe there is a Championship player that we could go for. But seriously, Luke Shaw's not a bad left-back. We've bought in Tellez, who's one of the top 5 left-backs in the world, I think. So that's a good deal. Centre-back needs to be better than bloody Rodon from Swansea, I'm afraid. I mean, imagine if we did buy Rodon. You'd have Rodon, Phil Jones, Marcus Rojo, Harry Maguire, Twan Sebi, Eric Bailly and Lindelof. Like, where's the world-class centre-back there? We need a top-class centre-back. We don't need Rodon from Swansea. So I think sometimes we moan for moaning's sake. And, oh, look, they've bought a player. Why didn't we do it? And I get it. But I think also it's not something that's going to make me mad, because I just think, well, you know what? That would be desperate. And I agree with us not doing those sort of deals, to be fair. I can see us losing tomorrow, and Ollie will be gone by Christmas, says Sean Negative Turn. I think tomorrow we will lose by a few goals. With that defence, no attack, bad times. And off topic, but the canteen in my college has been shut, so students have to go to the high street to get lunch. But isn't that going to be worse, says Big Josh. You couldn't be off more topic, Josh. This is not a COVID-19 Q&A. But yeah, you're right. It's more risky to be going out onto the high street, I suppose. But wear a mask and wash your hands. I'm not disrespecting Ben Rama at all. He's a good player, Jason. I don't think he's the answer for Manchester United. And correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he plays off the left. I'm sure he plays off the left. But I might be wrong on that. So Benjamin says, so any people that are saying Ollie is responsible for more than what is going on the pitch, that is a load of rubbish, because they have really supported him or back him. Okay. Don't really understand what that was about. If Ighalo plays, he will already be a downgrade from Martial, so he can't drop Bruno. He will lose if he does drop Bruno, as the quality. I can't see in a million years, Hyan, how he drops Bruno Fernandes. Welcome to the Members Club, Ruben. Thank you very much for joining. You can do that by clicking the join button, get your badge next to your name. And Ollie doesn't deserve the sack. The board does, says Wazza. Well, that's one thing I think we'd all agree on, but one thing that will never happen. And Mark, you are a hypocrite playing Pogba. He's just as bad as Maguire, says Calvin. I don't remember saying I was going to pick Pogba. My team that I picked was a diamond. And if I'm playing a diamond, I am going to play Matic, Pogba, Van der Beek, Bruno. So I would play a diamond in the midfield. I would play a 4-4-2 with a diamond, as I spoke about on the preview. And if I'm going to play a diamond, I'm going to pick Paul Pogba. If you're telling me I've got to play a 4-3-3, I'm dropping Pogba, because I'm picking Matic, Van der Beek and Bruno. So I'm not a hypocrite. I would drop Pogba if we were playing a midfield 3, but because I'm playing a diamond, I would pick Pogba. And I think that's the way that we should go. If we're playing a 5-3-2, I drop Pogba. Do I think Ollie's going to drop Pogba? No. Do I think he's going to drop Maguire? No. But what if Ollie plays Maguire and drops Pogba? What's your mentality then? Tell me that. Mark, I think Ollie should bench Pogba, played Van der Beek, Fernandes and Matic in midfield, says Enzo. Pogba has been taking a dump in every single match this season. And he also came out and spoke about Madrid. I mean, look, I think Pogba gets a lot of unfair criticism. I said it the other day. I think that, Harry Maguire has a bad game for England and people start talking about mental health. Martial has an indifferent start to the season and people start calling him a fraud. Pogba has a bad game and people are on his back. David Luiz gets called a clown by me, and others. They're entertainers. They are open to criticism, but it's funny when it's an English player that the press likes. Oh, we've got to make it about something serious now. It doesn't work both ways. There is a bias, and I don't like that. I didn't want to make this about Pogba tonight because it's not. But to be honest with you, if he plays Maguire and drops Pogba, is that not sending a big message as well? It's sort of a halfway house for me. I think it would show real big leadership to do that. You can't have one and not the other. You can't say, well, he's picked Maguire, so he's an idiot, but he's dropped Pogba. If he does drop Pogba and play Maguire, then he's still made a big decision. I still don't think it's quite the right decision, but he's still made a big decision. So, look, maybe Pogba's as open to be dropped as Maguire, really. I mean, look, Pogba's way better than Maguire. I know one's a centre-back and one's a midfielder, but if Pogba was a centre-back, he'd be, an inconsistent Van Dijk. He is a very, 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 very good player, Paul Pogba. He's in the top, for me, Paul Pogba on talent is in the top 10 players in the world. But he's a bit inconsistent, that's the problem. So Pogba's a way better player than Maguire, but on form, Pogba's been dreadful for United for the first 3 games of the season, and on the international break, he's undermines the club. So you might argue that there's more grounds to drop Pogba than Maguire. But for me, personally, I think Maguire's the more important one to drop. But if he picks Maguire and he drops Pogba, he's still made a big statement. I think the worst thing he can do tomorrow is pick them both, because then it's just like, well, who are you dropping, Ollie? Where's your statement? Where's your reaction to that worst result we've had since Sir Alex retired? Sending them out again and hoping for better. Is that not the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing again and hoping for a different outcome? He's got to make a big statement. Well, he hasn't got to make a big statement. Let's correct that. We're a fan channel. We're all fans. We've all got our opinion. And a lot of us would make a big statement tomorrow to kick up the arse and show the team who's boss. He doesn't have to do it, but I think he should do it. That's what I think. Patrick says drop Pogba and sell him in January. Well, Pogba's signed a contract extension, hasn't he? Obviously, we know about this. The funny thing is, it's not going to be Pogba there going signing that. It's a contract extension that we control. It's the option of another year that we control. He can't stop us doing it. So Pogba was out of contract in the summer, and he will be. Manchester United have extended his contract to the next summer. So Pogba's not there going. He's not doing that because he's got no control over it. In fact, Pogba, I would hazard a guess that Pogba and Raiola would quite like it if that contract was up in the summer, because they'd be in the money. Imagine if Pogba was out of contract in the summer and Man United there going, please sign a new contract, and he's like, forget about it. In January I can talk to Juventus, I can talk to Real Madrid. Literally in 2.5 months I can be a very, very rich man. So, whether Pogba ends up staying long term at United or not, that extension is not going to benefit him, is it? It benefits us, but it doesn't solve the problem, because next summer, if he doesn't sign a contract, we're going to have to sell him, and I think that's what will happen. Hope Ollie leaves Harry at home. Maybe he can make the ultimate pie on his off day, says PMV Patrick. Well, Harry Maguire has travelled with the Manchester United squad, is what we've heard. The injury story of this morning, what clearly wasn't a smokescreen to drop him. It clearly was a bit of a knock that he's passed, and he's now gone with the squad. So I expect our captain to start tomorrow. Pogba and Maguire on the bench. Fosu Mensah should start as central defender, says Hezron. I think I can safely say that's not going to happen. And I would love a Pogba Niguez swap if only Pogba fancied Atletico, says Lynn Hall. And there's so much talent in our team. The coaches and the manager doesn't know how to use it, says Josh Metcalf. And part of that is actually, dropping players, isn't it, as well? Maguire is the slowest centre-back, says Joseph Avalea. And look, I think on Maguire, let's just see what happens with it. We can't control it. It's not our job. Ultimately, I think if he gets it wrong tomorrow and he sends the wrong message out, it's the long goodbye. Because the problem is, I felt it was the long goodbye when we didn't make the transfers. But the problem is, I saw this. Forget this transfer window, last transfer window, when we said they haven't bought him a midfielder, they haven't bought him an attacker. we're not going to be Ollie out, we're going to back Ollie. And then he started making bad team selections, and people were like, well, yeah, he didn't get backed in the summer, but bloody hell, he's playing a 5-3-2 again. We're just parking the bus, we're playing crap football. And that's where I'm worried between now and Christmas, is he hasn't been backed, and he did a great job to get us third place, and we played some good football to get third place. But if he goes back to negative tactics of parking the bus and hitting teams on the break, and he sticks by players that should be dropped, then ultimately people will start going, I ain't backing this manager. And you can't defend him then, because you're like, well, look, I think if you're Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you've got to try and go down fighting. You've got to try and keep the fans on side. You've got to try and play good football, and you've got to try and win. And if he does those things, he'll keep more people on side. But if he makes bad decisions and bad formations and bad tactical calls, he'll lose people. It's like anything, isn't it? It's like elections. It's like, leadership. If you make bad decisions, then you'll lose more and more support. So I'm hoping tomorrow it's going to be good news in relation to the result. And it would be nice if that was coupled with, decisions that I personally, and hopefully a lot of you, will be happy with. But what will be interesting, as I said, is at 7 o'clock tomorrow, it's going to be really interesting, because I can't think of a team selection that he can do that we're all going to go, wow, I expected that. He's got to do things, and it's not going to please everybody, but he can make decisions that do. If Pogba and Maguire plays well, do you still think Ollie is not strong, says Ashwin? Yeah, I do. Look, I want Man United to win tomorrow, and if Pogba and Maguire are man of the match, I will say they're man of the match. But in the long term, I think this will bite us in the arse, because I think we should win tomorrow, no matter what team he picks. Whether we drop people or not, I think we should win tomorrow. The problem will be if you do play player A, who should be dropped, and I'm not going to name names anymore because it could be one of three really. But if player A should be dropped tomorrow, but he doesn't, and then we win against Newcastle, is that vindication for that player playing crap for weeks or even months? And then when you play against PSG and Chelsea and you lose because player A isn't good enough, that result against Newcastle doesn't justify. The result tomorrow and how he picks his team can only mean something if he makes big changes and it works. If he sticks with the same players and we win, we're going to have the same problems of Spurs just a little bit further down the line, because complacency is rife. He's got to try and shake that team up, and it's very unlikely you're going to shake that team up by going with the same players, because it doesn't send the right message out. It might do, it could do, it could be seen as, look how loyal I am to you, be loyal to me. But I don't think that, I don't want to name players, but I don't think that the problem with Harry Maguire is loyalty to Ollie or trying for Ollie or trying for the shirt. I would never say that about him. I think he gives everything for the shirt, and I think he gives everything for Ollie. I don't think he doesn't try. I think the problem at the moment is he's just dreadfully out of form. It's not a lack of effort from this player. He's dreadfully out of form. So, if Ollie says to him tonight, you're my captain, go out there and prove you're my captain tomorrow, I don't think that really is the problem with Harry Maguire, because I don't think he's not been thinking that for the last 3 months. I just don't think he's playing well. If Maguire is not benched tomorrow, then Ollie will be criticised and be closer to the sack than he already is. Ollie knows he has no other option in centre-backs, as Enzo. And hi Mark, Newcastle will have seen how Palace and Brighton caused us trouble. Spurs are a very good team, but let's not forget we've been totally outplayed by Palace and Brighton. Players have to step up, says Jordan Such. I'm really excited about the game. Really excited about the game. I think it's going to be. I think we're going to win. I think we need to win. I can't think about not winning tomorrow, because I know what this fan base is like, and there's a lot of opinion I don't agree with, but understand, there's a lot of people who are bubbling up. They're very angry, and if we lose tomorrow or even draw tomorrow or don't play well tomorrow, it's going to escalate, because people aren't going to see that we're going to turn it around against PSG and Chelsea, which is our next 2 games. Got to win tomorrow. Got to get some positivity back. And even if we do win tomorrow, it's only a small step. It's not like we're back on the wheel. We've got to win tomorrow. We've got to do it in the right way, and we've got to put some pride on that shirt, because there's not a lot of pride in that shirt at the moment, and we're in the mud a little bit. Greetings from Louisiana. Love the show, says Peter Bello. Well, thanks very much, mate. Look, thanks everyone for watching. It's Friday night. Tomorrow's a massive day. We've got the watch along. We've got my match reaction, player ratings, all sorts of stuff for you to get involved in. So look, get a good night's sleep. and let's get ready for tomorrow, because I think it's going to be a big game, and that team news at 7 o'clock is going to be significant, isn't it? So let's see what happens. Thanks everyone for watching. I'll speak to you all soon.